I've been talking to a couple of guys that I did the Horns Up podcast with, the metal podcast. One of them, Andy from the Deep Share podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about doing a meetup Airbnb situation next year at some point. We're gonna probably meet up and go to Gettysburg.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
That is sick, dude.
Probably do some spooky podcasting at Gettysburg if we can.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking cool. CJ reached out to you about the wedding yet?
No, you know what? He actually messaged me a few days ago. He was like, "Are you busy?" And I was working. I was like, "Yeah, I'm working right now." And he was like, "Oh, I'll talk to you later." And I never hit him back, so I don't even know.
Next October, I think it is.
He's getting married?
Yeah.
Nice. Where are these cats? Dude, my allergies are fucking me up today.
Really
what up, Skeeter?
Skeeter, what it do? What it do? That's not Twitch. That's Twitch.
While we're waiting for everyone to show up, I'll show you some cool stuff. I know you don't pay attention to the Facebook posts I do, so I'll show you. I'll show everybody else in here too. So I've updated the merch shop.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So, look, we got a nice new banner on it now. Check it out. Pretty sick, dude.
Get them out of here, please. Jesus Christ.
Whoa. Still got some old stuff that old Jacob put up here.
Nice.
And I put up some new stuff. We got our first ever limited edition logo. So I'm only going to keep this up until midnight on October 31st.
Very Christmassy.
And then no, it's more fall-y. I mean, I guess I can see the Christmas in it.
It looks Christmassy.
Well, it's not supposed to look Christmassy. It's the new news logo. So when I do like the breaking news episodes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
babe, we got to get the shadow
every once in a while
online.
Look at all this stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
See? You guys can make shadow band blankets. Ooh. It'd be nice. You could have a shadow band coffee in your shadow band coffee cup.
You using Printful?
No, Redbubble.
Redbubble. What the hell is that?
Redbubble. That's this.
Is that like Printful, where they like print to order?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, we got our actual Christmas logo up here too. Where is it? It's freaking out. Why is it freaking out? Stop. Thank you. Where are you? I don't like the layout of Redbubble. It's kind of weird, right? So you got to click on. It changes whatever's the item the logo's on every time you click on the page, and you just got to click on the item with the logo that you want. Then you got to scroll down here, and it gives you a couple other like items. Then you got to click this little red thing over here to see the other products that you want with that logo on it.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
clunky user interface.
Yeah, it's not.
I always
smooth,
liked Printful, man. Printful worked good when I was using it. That's what we're using now to build out the Shadowban website. I mean, I've never even heard of Redbubble, so I can't shit on it or anything. But I know what I like.
We've been using Redbubble we've been using it for years, but I literally have not been paying attention to it. Haven't been pushing it. Should I never advertise it? Yeah, Halloween one. That's this one. This is our fall one. We don't have necessarily a Halloween one.
They updated Twitch, and I don't like it.
What did they do?
I don't know. Just it's different now. Fuck. What the fuck did I do? Yeah, I just don't like it. Skeeter says you need a Halloween one before Christmas. This guy's already doing Christmas shit. It's not even Halloween yet, let alone Thanksgiving.
I did a fall one too.
He's that guy, guys.
Should put a jack-o'-lantern head on the jackalope.
He's the guy who puts up Christmas lights right after 9/11.
That's fucked up, dude. I don't do that.
Speaking of 9/11, I got an email today from apparently one of the architects from 9/11 Architects and Engineers about coming on the show.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, so it's definitely a bot email.
No, it's you got, was it from the actual guy or from his agent?
It's from his people, yeah.
Yeah. I've been talking to her back and forth.
Sweet. We still got to book Carol Lieberman. We haven't given her a specific day yet, have we?
She said the 8th or the 15th. We haven't answered her in a week.
We'll book it for another time. I'm going on Paranoid Radio podcast tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Paranoid Radio, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll start it. To be honest, man, I really don't want to do this episode.
Then don't.
I don't have anything else to do.
This guy's a slave to his own product. Fucking shill.
You're such a nice guy. Look at you. All nice and stuff. I'm petting your beard with my mouse cursor right now.
That's what friends are for, man. Tough love, you know?
Yeah.
I'm that friend that'll be like, nah, bro, she's not good for you, bro. She's
What?
not good for you, dude.
Okay, you don't listen to him. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start this. I'll get comfortable and let's go. All right. Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy. Tonight we are going to talk about something pretty sensitive. We're going to talk about what everyone else is talking about right now. Listener discretion advised. We're going to talk about some pretty brutal things. We did have a guest tonight. Yes. That person is sort of a sore subject, but next week we do have a guest coming on, and we'll jump right back into some of the older topics that we're used to talking about, cryptids and such. Kind of excited about that. Jump back into that world, make Jeff the one that's super awkward and not knowing what to say. texting me saying that he's going to go to bed and cutting out early. But tonight we're going to be fully embedded into Jeff's world, getting really deep into the conspiracy side of things. If you've been living under a rock, you've missed major news. There was an assassination on political speaker, conservative right-wing speaker, Charlie Kirk. I'm sure everybody's heard of this by now. Sorry, but we're going to talk about this as well. I've also gotten feedback on a brand new review of the show from somebody. I don't know who it is, but somebody said that if we ever stop saying the word they'll come back and listen to the show. That will never happen.
Digital ass hat back again?
Nah, somebody different. But I don't give a shit. That's how I speak.
Look, we're not professional speakers. I've had people make that comment on my page too. They said that I said, you know what I mean, too much. You know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean.
We're not professional speakers, man. We're just a couple of dudes in our home studio doing a podcast. Okay, it's not that serious. Chill out.
Listen, I get a half a penny for your 60 seconds of playtime. Okay, whether you listen to this for 60 seconds or 60 minutes, I get half a penny. So, yeah, I'm not gonna take speech class so I can get your half a penny. Sorry, man, not gonna happen. I do this because I love it. But listener discretion advised. There's going to be some sensitive things. There's going to be some deep dives into some subjects that are probably going to piss some people off. Just being honest with you guys. I'm of course not going to dive much into politics. I'm going to try to stay politically neutral as I do with my everyday life. But there are aspects of this entire story that are going to bring certain political aspects to be talking points tonight. So, with that being said, if this is something you don't want to hear, back out now. I don't blame you. A lot of people are talking about this. But if you want to hear our perspectives, our thought processes on this entire thing and where we stand, not necessarily politically or whatnot, but what we're taking from all of this, then hang tight. And I can guarantee you that at least for me, you'll see at least something new. I'm sure Jeff has looked at this and done what Jeff does with all of this stuff. He's going to bring something up that you probably haven't thought about, or you haven't done layers of research into in the past, so you don't have the background knowledge to make the connections. So sorry, just not very excited to do this topic, but I'm here to do it. This is I was talking to Jeff before this. Still feel like there's a sort of an obligation to at least talk about it. So I'm here for it. Jeff, is there anything you want to put out there before we get going?
Not really. I do feel like I'm getting a sinus infection. So if you guys hear me sniffling into the mic, I apologize. It's not nose candy. I promise. I just my sinus infection. My allergies have been killing me today. So bear with it.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to get into some stuff and there's some conspiracy related things to this whole Charlie Kirk mess, to be honest with you. And you know, I don't want to be looked at like one of these guys that's out here like, you know, praising the situation, because that's definitely not the case. I think that the whole situation is really messed up. You know, obviously, like, I feel bad for Charlie Kirk, his family, and all that shit. Like, it's terrible. But that doesn't mean that we can't question narratives. And you know, we were talking, like Jeremy said, we were talking off camera. You know, there's a little bit of risk, if you will, just even bringing that kind of stuff up, especially when this event is so fresh and it's such a big topic in the world right now. You know, I've taken a lot of flack for questioning things like the Las Vegas shootings, questioning 9/11, you know, questioning whatever. You get flack for it from certain people. Um, it's not to take away from the fact that the event happened. You know, this isn't one of those like, I don't even think it happened type conspiracies. It's more like there's there's other things behind all this too, it seems like. So I just want to put that out there.
So I think that's a good place to start. That's actually a really good place to start. I want to start with a message that I got yesterday. I got a message on X. Somebody messaged me, and I don't understand some people, but they messaged me. I'm not going to put their username out there or tag or whatever, but they messaged me and said, "Hey, why are you cherry picking what is considered breaking news to you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, you did this breaking news episode on the UAP congressional hearing when that happened, but Charlie Kirk gets assassinated and you're not talking about it the day it happens. But yet you're talking about the congressional hearing the day it happens." And I'm like, I don't think there's anything for me to really dissect right now, man. I'm still waiting for all the information to come out. What are you talking about? I said, why does that mean I'm cherry picking? And he's like, well, do you think UFOs are more important than this man's life? And I was like, dude, are you trying to say that I'm putting Charlie Kirk's life below UFOs? Is that what you're trying to say, man? Like, no, dude, I'm trying to watch from the sidelines and be respectful. Like, this is a completely different topic. This is I'm not jumping on this and shooting from the hip without having more information. And he's like, man, whatever, unfollow. And then he fucking blocked me. It's like, whatever, dude. I don't understand.
Yeah, look, dude. I mean, listen, fuck that guy, because every podcast, every news station, every anything, right, cherry picks the news. It's impossible for two guys to cover every piece of news that comes out every single day. So every time we do any podcast on any topic, we had to cherry pick the topic in order to come up with something to talk about, right? Like, how many things are in the news today? 10 million. We don't have time for that. We have to pick which ones we talk about in any particular day, right?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, we got lives and shit, bro. Like, we can't just drop it. We don't make money on this, right? It's not like we're sitting back with tens of $1 million, like, you know, the Daily Wire or Turning Point USA or any of the, you know, Timcast or any of these big channels that have millions of dollars, and this is what they do for a living. And they, you know, we don't have a team behind us that's doing all this research and pulling, you know, we're not InfoWars, bro. Like, we're just a couple of dudes. So
yeah, that's, you know, and I think like the big fallback is a lot of people don't understand the concept of infinite rabbit hole, right? Infinite rabbit hole is, it's based around the two of us or three of us, four of us, who, you know, depending on how many co-hosts that we have at the time, all having our individual interests, likes, and expertise, and bringing that to the table. If you look back here, I have hundreds of books. Not a single one of them is based solely on conspiracies, government conspiracies, government cover-ups. I don't have a single one of them on JFK, right? I don't research that stuff. It's not in my interest realm, right? It's not like when I started Infinite Rabbit Hole with Jake, we weren't ever going to cover that kind of stuff. Jeff came along. That's Jeff's realm, right? Jeff has an entire other podcast. He's not going to put the time and effort that he even puts into that show, right? Into a show that he's doing just because he loves me. And look at the love in his face. Look at that. That is admirement. That man loves me, and he's here because he loves me. Do you see that? I see that. Go ahead, say something stupid. Look at that face. Look at him. But the reason why I chose to do the UAP congressional hearing is because I fucking love UFOs, man. I mean, I love them, and I have a ton of research and interest and love for the topic of UFOs and all the physics and mechanics that go behind it, the military background, just right up my wheelhouse, man. That's why I did it, because I love it. Okay. And there really hasn't been a lot of that lately where I can just talk about it and be the expert. We haven't talked about cryptids in a while. That's my wheelhouse. So I've been a fish out of water for a long time on the show because we've been diving into conspiracy, because the news has just been nothing but conspiracy lately. That's been the topic of conversation in the world right now, because every single thing in the world, it seems like that's been conspiracy in the past fucking, since the JFK assassination, has slowly been coming true. It's been being revealed that what we're just talking about, I can't remember who said it, but we referenced it a few times already on the show. What's the difference between conspiracy and history? Time, right? Yep. Let's some time go by.
Yep.
That's it. And we're watching that play out over and over and over again now. So that guy, I don't even know why I'm giving it time. But back to what you were saying, the conspiracy of the death itself. Okay. I think that's a good place to start, because I think that's going to be the easiest one to kind of just get knocked out of the way. There's so many layers to this whole topic, and there's so many different conspiracies out there when it comes to the Charlie Kirk assassination. First one is, was it all staged? Charlie Kirk's still alive somewhere. I'm here to tell you that I do not believe at all that was faked.
Same.
I think that we all watched a very brutal video of a public execution of a man who was not fully expecting that to happen. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really dove into it on this podcast. I did go onto a mental health podcast one time and dove into, the whole background behind Infinite Rabbit Hole and how this whole thing got started and whatnot. And honestly, this is probably one of the better times to really talk about this. But when I got medically retired from the Navy, I got, force retired with 100% disability rating. I witnessed a young man on the flight line commit suicide by jumping into the tail rotor of a helicopter. It was brutal. Okay. So that's only one brutal injury that I witnessed in my life. I've witnessed a few brutal injuries in my life. And I'll tell you one of the things, and please, if nobody wants to hear really graphic details, move along. Don't listen to this. Okay. You don't need to. You really don't. But sometimes you just need to get graphic to really explain to people, like, hey, you just got to put down some of the really dumb stuff so that you can focus on the stuff that really is questionable. All right. What happened to Charlie Kirk? There's another conspiracy out there whether or not he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Now, best evidence is that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and I've seen many different photo and video angles where it looks like there was no straps on his back. And I'm not familiar with all the bulletproof vests out there. Okay. But I did see the slow motion video, and it does look like it hit him right above the upper left clavicle and ricocheted up into his neck. From there, it looks like it hit his left carotid. And jammed up into like the lower part of his brain or his cerebral column. Now, I've seen so many different people try to dissect this, and they're dissecting it wrong. Okay, a lot of people point to that little black spot in his shirt, and they're like, "What is that?" You know, and they're also pointing to the guy over to one side who's got his hand underneath his arm. Looks like he's pulling some sort of like cell phone pistol, shooting Charlie. Listen, man, the entry wound was straightforward. Okay, there was no entry wound to the side. Okay, there was no exit wound coming out the other end. Literally, ballistics proves that the angle in which that guy was standing, the shot could not have come from that angle. Okay, wipe that out of your mind. The guy in the shirt that had his arms crossed did not shoot Charlie Kirk.
That would also be just stupid, by the way, too, because you wouldn't, if that was like, a professional hit or something that was being done, you would not place the hitman in camera angle, like in shot like that, number one. Number two, I've seen a lot of videos where guys are pointing to his security in the back that quote unquote looked like he was giving up hand signals, right? He was crossing his arm and like giving a signal. Like, again, you wouldn't have that guy standing right there clearly on camera. They all know that they're on camera, throwing up signals or anything like that. That's just, that's way too sloppy for any group of individuals who have that type of training. They would never, ever put themselves in that position to do that.
It's not even that, man. Like, I'm happy you brought up the hand signals thing too, because I heard that and people were calling that shit out, and I was like, dude, you guys have obviously never tried to communicate in loud places with a team of people. Okay, if you're in a security team, right, and you're trying to communicate across distances, right, and the only way that you can communicate is visually. Yes, we've all seen the Hollywood version of people with mics on their lapels, and they're speaking into them and they're talking to each other like, Charlie Mike, blah, 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 blah. I've got him. That's not how it works. Okay, these people are fucking loud. All right. You heard that crowd roaring. Let's say that there was 6 people out there, all in civilian gear. All right. Yes, he definitely had security people out there. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of them. Was he giving hand signals? Yeah, he probably was. He was probably giving hand signals to another security guy. Probably saying, hey, man, all clear from here. We're all good. Was he? No, right? But he also probably wasn't looking on top of that roof. I mean, it's common, very common, to use hand signals to talk. I mean, when we're in naval aviation or in aviation in general, we have a position called the plane captain, right? Where the person stands out in front of the plane, and instead of talking to them through the radio, we give them hand signals. Okay. It's literally a qualification to give hand signals because we can't hear each other even over the radio.
Yeah, but dude was definitely not giving hand signals to pull the trigger, right? Like that's
No.
just absurd. It's
And not just that, man, but another guy put together a whole nice video, right? Of dozens of Charlie Kirk debates where there's other security guards doing the same thing.
yeah,
Even the same security guard.
yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah,
it's
I've seen a lot of really bad, like, okay, I appreciate on one level, I appreciate questioning the narrative. Of course, that's my shtick, right? So when I see posts and people are questioning, what we're being fed, like, okay, good on you for asking questions, fair. But I've seen some really bad, sloppy question asking, right? And this happens every time there's anything, right? Like I've seen guys who go on and do like, I don't know, like take your pick of the thing, right? They'll debate some conspiracy and they just do a terrible job at like outlining or asking questions about the thing, and they make the rest of us look retarded, literally.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that stuff bothers me because it's like you haven't even done any type of real thinking on this at all, right?
Yeah.
What I find interesting though is a lot of the numbers and such that are involved with this assassination, which we can get into later. I don't want to I didn't mean to cut you off, but like
No,
just,
you're good.
yeah, the
Yeah.
hand signals thing is just it's stupid. You guys are not thinking hard enough.
I want to go. I'll wrap up the actual death of Charlie Kirk first. Okay. I just want to reiterate. Okay, I'm not bringing this up because I'm insensitive or anything like that. Trust me, it's the complete opposite. I feel terrible for him. I feel terrible for his wife, his kids. You know, this is something that I'm not uber conservative. Okay, I'm not extremely liberal. I've always been a middle of the road kind of person. And I've actually just been a person that just doesn't like politics in general. Okay, I just stayed away from politics in my life. I just don't like it, and it's because of how ugly people get because of it. So I've even tried to stay away from it as much as I can here on the podcast. I just built infinite rabbit hole around the whole concept of not bringing politics into this. But a lot of people are politicizing this particular topic on, oh, well, if you feel bad for Charlie Kirk, then you're obviously a conservative or you're a Christian. Well, to be honest with you, I don't consider myself Christian. Okay, I've never sat down and read the entire Bible, read bits and pieces of it, but for research. And I mean, I served in the military, and I would say half my family's conservative and half my family's liberal. I take each and every topic individually, and I don't brush every topic with a blue or red brush. I don't know how else to answer that. So, but on this particular topic, somebody who's opening the floor up to peaceful debate should not be shot. That's what.
Yeah, it's messed up, bro. It's a messed up situation, dude. Honestly, the whole thing's messed up. But like there's a certain level of I don't know, maybe it's because I've been ridiculed and like people have come at me for questioning the narrative on a lot of things before, right? Like even to this day, if I bring up 9/11 conspiracies on at any level, like there's people I know that'll like shit on me. They'd be like, "Oh, bro, like I was telling you before, oh my uncle was there, like my uncle died," and it's like, look, man, I'm not saying that the event didn't happen, right? Or like people didn't die, or like it's not sad and messed up of a situation, right? But my whole angle is always like there's usually some other like underlying thing that's happening too. It's not just as black and white as like some crazy liberal shot Charlie Kirk, right? Like
Mhm.
there's something else going on here. And like the biggest red flag for me is like how big and how blasted it is on everybody's feeds, right? Everybody's algorithm has completely shifted because of this event. Crystal's, for example, her TikTok algorithm has zero political stuff on it at all. It's just cat videos, and like,
As it
what I'm
should
saying?
be.
And her algorithm is completely just swamped with this Charlie Kirk thing, right? So that to me is a signal like, okay, like they're using this never let a good crisis go to waste is the phrase, right? So, when something like this happens, even if it was just a crazy liberal shooting Charlie Kirk, the lizard people, right? And I say that like hyperbolically. I don't think that they're actually lizards. You guys know this, but that's just my fun term for these deep state fucking psychopaths, right? The lizard people, they will not let this go to waste. They will use this event for a whole number of things, whether it's, surveillance or, cracking down on privacy or some sort of laws or whatever the case is. I don't know yet. We'll have to see what really comes out of this, but it's
Well,
going to get used. It's going to be weaponized against us, is basically what I'm saying on some level.
I'll bring something up. What?
It's to cover something else up, like Skeeter says. Yeah, like, and the thing is, it might not just be one thing. It could be a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like, I heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that during the day that this happened to Charlie Kirk, that they were voting in the Senate about releasing the Epstein files, and that all of the GOP, all of the right, the Republican senators voted against it, even though half of them are out in public saying that it needs to be released, right? So that could be one of the things that they were covering up, right? Have you guys heard this? Probably not, right? So point proven. Okay. Um, Another thing, NASA came out the other day and said that they found life on Mars. Did you guys hear that?
I did.
Probably not, right? Well, Jeremy probably did because he's a nerd and he likes this kind of stuff. But like the general public, like again, everybody's algorithms is just constantly. Even today, I'm scrolling through just trying to watch mindless videos, and like it's Charlie Kirk, and it's like, okay, man, like I get it, bro. Like it's sad, it's messed up, but like how many times, you know, do we need to watch this? And then the third thing about that too is they put this traumatic event in front of everybody. Everybody saw it happen. Okay. Even if you didn't want to see it happen, you saw it happen. Okay.
Mhm.
The blood, the whole thing. Okay. That is traumatizing on some subconscious level to every single one of us. And that right there is a powerful tool for these lizard people. When they can traumatize all of us with an event, right? Like 9/11 is a good example. Okay. Las Vegas shooting was an example, right? When they can put something in front of every single person that's that traumatizing of an event, that is effective for them on a subconscious level. So there's a lot of like layers to how this could be used and weaponized against us as just regular people, right? That doesn't take away from the fact that it's sad and it's messed up and that this actually happened to Charlie Kirk, right? Of course. But there's just more to it. It's deeper than just that base layer.
yeah, we're gonna get into some of that really sketchy shit. I just had to bring something up here to make sure I have it up for when I need it. Because I came across something that just doesn't sit right with me about this whole thing, and just wanted to make sure I have it for when we get there.
Well, while you look for that and have
I
it
have
ready. Oh,
I have
okay.
it.
Well, go ahead then.
No. We're not there yet. I wanted to make sure that we get through the. I want to make sure I'm clear that Charlie Kirk died.
Right.
Okay. And then, do you have anything you wanted to say real quick?
I mean, like I was just gonna start going into some of the numbers aspects and the Freemason symbolism.
Yeah. Let me knock this out real quick.
All right, go for it.
So another thing, people were talking about were a potential blood splattering system taped to Charlie or whatever, to account for all the blood spray coming out of his neck. Listen, man. Okay. Oh, and then another one was, why did he hold on to the microphone? Another one was the ring switching from his one finger to his pinky. I mean, we came out and people found multiple photos of him or videos of him playing with this ring that he has. It's a gold ring and it opens. It's got a latch on it, and it's a fidget thing. Okay, so when he's up there and he's debating or he's on stage or whatnot, he fidgets. Okay, and it's a ring that opens up and he can switch his fingers. All right. So that's the answer to that. All right. So it's not AI. You didn't watch an AI video of somebody getting shot. All right. That's number one. Number two, the reason why he didn't let go of the microphone and the reason why there was so much blood. Let's go over that real quick. Okay. So this might get a little graphic, but I just want to make sure people understand the anatomy of what actually happened. Okay. I have not seen the autopsy report. As far as I know, it's still locked away and it has not been made public yet. But just from watching that video, I'm on the phone with my wife, watched it, and I'm like, I said, Katie, he's dead. There's no way he's walking away from that. And she's like, well, they're saying that he's at the hospital and that he's stable. And I'm like, no, there's no way. I said, that hit is carotid. I said, he's done. Done. There's no way. And then not just that, but he also took the decorticate posture. So if anybody doesn't know what the decorticate posture is, that is, if you ever seen anybody have a seizure, when they tense up, like, they bring their arms and to their chest and they clench their fists and they kind of wrap their wrists downwards and then they stiffen their legs out. That's called the decorticate posture. So when he got hit in the chest and it ricocheted up into his carotid, his left carotid. So on each side of your neck, you have a left and a right carotid artery. And the carotid arteries are your brain's main blood supply that come directly from your heart. Now, if anybody knows the structure and the purpose of an artery versus a vein, arteries supply oxygen-rich blood away from the heart. The walls of your arteries are much thicker to support higher pressure of the fluid, where veins supply oxygen degraded blood or deoxygenated blood, if you will, to the heart to be resupplied through the lungs. And they have thin walls. So I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh man, I went straight through his jugular." Literally can't happen. Okay, the jugular is a vein. That's a very common misconception in Hollywood movies where people, they like to say jugular vein, got sliced in the jugular. I know ICP, Insane Clown Posse, used to put that in a lot of their songs, jugular, because it rhymes with juggalo, right? It was catchy and fun. But the reality of it is that veins collapse on themselves. They're really thin walled, and they'll actually stop bleeding much easier than arteries. In fact, arteries will stay solid. Think of them as like a pool noodle. Okay, the only way to stop an artery from bleeding out is for the pressure, your blood pressure, to drop so low, or to actually pinch it, or to block it somehow. So when that bullet, which I believe that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Again, I don't know, but from the slow motion video, it looked like he got hit right on top of the left pectoral, ricocheted up, and right when he got hit, you could see his whole body jerk backwards. And a moment later, the microphone and everything came up close, and he started to take the decorticate posture. So, like I said, the decorticate posture is with the bent arms coming inward towards the chest and clenched fist with extended stiff legs. This comes from severe damage to the brain. Mostly the case will be involving the most densest areas of neurons of the brain. This will be the area of the brain on top of the spine, where the brain receives the signals from the cerebral cortex and the cerebellum, known as the red nucleus. This is literally the area of the brain that's dead center. This sits right on top of the spine. This is where all the neurotransmitters come from, the signals from your muscles up through the spine into your brain, gets translated into information from your brain, and also all the stuff that comes from your brain down into your spine, and then gets spread out through your body and tells your body what to do. Okay. This is it's so sensitive that a bullet hitting that will instantly send your body into the decorticate posture. Okay. You'll clench up. And that's what he did. Okay. He bled out very fast. He got hit in the either very top of the spine, lower part of his brain. And because he took the decorticate posture, I believe he got hit in the red nucleus, which means that he was most likely completely unconscious, unknowing of anything. And if there's any good news from this, that he most likely had no idea that it happened to him. So all the signs were there. Okay. This wasn't faked, guys. All right. So please be careful of the information that you're taking in. Everything was there. I can almost guarantee you that when the autopsy comes out, what I just told you is going to be pretty close to or what you're going to hear. And if not, question it. Because what we saw is what I'm painting. And I challenge anybody to go out and do their own research. Seriously do. It's basic anatomy. All right. Jeff, you want to go ahead and take us into the numbers, bud?
Yeah, sure. So let's just start with the number 33. A lot of you listen to this, you probably already know when you see that or hear the number 33, it automatically is like bing, right? For me, it does. 33 is a super important number in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Okay. I used Grok here just to get like a clear, list of reasons why 33 is important. It doesn't list all of them, but just what it's telling me. Symbolically, 33 carries deep esoteric meanings in Masonic philosophy. It's linked to the human anatomy, representing the 33 vertebrae of the spine, topped by the head, symbolizing enlightenment or the ascent of consciousness. There's also 33 degrees in Freemasonry. 33rd degree Freemasonry is like the highest you can go. There might be like other secret levels above the 33rd, but the 33rd is the highest. Um, uh, Multiples of three, right? So three invokes the Holy Trinity in Christian context, emphasizing spiritual harmony and the union of divine principles. Basically, they use 33 as a ritual number, if you will. Okay. And it signifies balance between the material and spiritual realms, drawing from numerological traditions in various cultures and esoteric systems. It's a whole rabbit hole in itself why 33 is an important number, but let's just assume that I'm not lying to you for the next few minutes here. Um, Trust me, 33 is an important number for these people. Okay. So that being said, now, I didn't do all this digging personally. I'm just kind of going off of what other people have dug up. I'm looking through X at some posts and stuff. I have looked at a few of these in my own time just to kind of see, like, because it's wild when you hear this. So I go look it up and I'm like, oh shit, that's right. So I haven't like confirmed all of these things. So take these with a grain of salt. But feel free to take these and do your own digging on it or whatever. But I do find it super interesting. First, the one that actually hit me in real time without looking it up online. I was driving in the car and I was listening to the FBI press conference after they caught the dude who shot Charlie Kirk, right? I was like listening to it live when it was happening. And Cash Patel specifically says that
Yes, you did.
they caught the shooter 33 hours after the shooting. Not 32, not 34, not a day and a half later. No. He specifically said 33 hours is what it took to catch the guy. Okay.
And then he fixed himself.
And then he corrects himself. But when he said that, my ears perked up. I was like, 33 hours. That's an odd thing to specify, right? So fair enough. That's when I started coming to look online to see like what else was tied in here. If you watch any of the videos, which all of us have seen it, you'll notice that Charlie Kirk had a whole bunch of Trump hats on the table, right? He had the 47 hats. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
He is. Look at him. Oh, it's cute. Look at that cute little sneeze. It's adorable.
Sorry, I told you my allergies were fucking me up today.
Bless you, bud.
Anyways, so he had the Trump hats, the 47 hats on the table. That's not odd. That's something he always did. But in the primary angle, the one that is the most viewed angle of this assassination, the one that was televised on like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, these big mainstream platforms, this one particular angle, there's 3 rows of these hats lined up right in front of Charlie on the table, 47s. The number 47 breaks down in numerology to the number 11. 4 plus 7 is 11. Okay. There was 3 of them there. What's 11 times 3? 33. Okay. So that was obviously pretty odd. Let me scroll down here on here. So, hold on, I had a few more. Sorry, it's a mess of stuff. So you could take Charlie Kirk's name, Charlie Kirk, C-K. C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet. K is the 11th letter in the alphabet. Again, 3 times 11, 33. Okay. Let's see. I got more here. You have the square and compass. Okay. This is an interesting one. I'm going to share this because without looking at it, it's kind of hard to understand what I'm saying. So I'll pull it up on screen here. Okay, you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
So this person, Danny Dior, am I reading too much into this? Right, he just said what I said. Charlie Kirk, CK 31133. Right. Um, September 10th, right? 9:10, which is 90 degrees, right? If you look at the Freemasonic symbol, it's the 90-degree square, right? And then he talks about the 3 baseball caps, which equal up to 33, right? And 47 also is the angle of the compass in this Freemasonic symbol as well, which I found interesting. Okay. I'll just leave you guys sharing here for a second. There's a few more down here. September 11th is exactly 33 days before Charlie Kirk's birthday. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what his birthday is. I never looked that up, but I'm sure somebody could figure that out and find out, right? His show launched July 7th, 2019, 322 weeks and 3 days later, or 6 years, 66 days. So basically what they're saying here is the number 322. This is a number for Skull and Crossbones. This is the secret society that like George Bush and a lot of these people were involved in, I believe at Yale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 322 is another really important number besides 33, and then also 666 is in that as well. Okay, so you have like these weird numbers. When Charlie Kirk's wife does, there's a video of him or of her at the open casket, and she has this giant ring on her hand. We'll get to the button in a second. Does this one have there you go. She has this giant G ring on her hand. Here's your G and your Freemasonic symbolism. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the button. Charlie Kirk had his lower button undone in the open casket. Now, somebody who does funeral work, they might have a better reason for this, right? But there is a Freemasonic symbol, if you will, or handshake. There's a code, hand signal, like we were talking about earlier. I think there's a picture of it up here somewhere. In Freemasonry, these Freemasons, they would open that same button and they would place their hand inside their jacket coat, right, covering that hand. That's a hand signal. Here you go. Here's the picture of it, I believe. No, that's not it. Anyways, that's a thing. You can look that up. The button open Freemason hand signal. You'll see it. It's there. Here's the 3 hats that I was talking about, 47, 47, 47. Okay. There's another piece that I found interesting. By the way, if you're not watching this and you're just listening, you should probably pull up the video because we're actually seeing some of this. Where was it? Somebody had pulled up, they put Tyler Robinson, who is apparently the shooter, they put him in a gematria calculator, and his name comes up as the number 47 in the gematria calendar, right?
So doesn't I heard that the Masons have some sort of lore too, and Tyler is the name of some sort of guardian in their lore.
It could be possibly. I'm not super sure, to be honest with you.
Me neither. Don't take that one to heart, everybody. That's just hearsay.
Look it up. I don't know, but it is interesting that his name, Tyler Robinson, comes up as the number 47 in the gematria calendar, right? There's another one where like the 3 biggest assassinations in American history, all of the names are with K's. So it's 3 K's. And I'm talking about the KKK, but remember K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, right? 3 times 11 is 33. Right. And so there's a long list of these. There's more of them. I just don't want to sit here and ramble off about all of them, but you get the point. There's like 50 examples of 33, 322, 47, all within this whole event. So like to me, that tells me that this is a signal of some kind, right? Like this is a ritual or whatever the case might be. I don't know. But again, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So there's definitely something spooky going on.
Yeah, all right. So I just grokked the Freemason tie to the name Tyler. So in Freemasonry, the name Tyler refers to a specific official role within a Masonic lodge rather than a personal name with esoteric or symbolic significance. The Tyler is the outer guard or doorkeeper of the lodge, tasked with ensuring the security and secrecy of meetings by preventing unauthorized individuals, such as non-Masons or Cowans, or eavesdroppers from entering. This position is one of the junior officers in the lodge hierarchy, but is crucial for maintaining the fraternity's traditions of discretion and moral integrity.
There you go. That's kind of spooky.
A little bit.
Here's another one. Charlie Kirk's full name is Charles James Kirk. So if you put Charles, the etymology, if you will, right? Charles from the Germanic is Carl, which means free man, right? And Kirk means in the Greek, derives from Greek, and it's the Lord's house. So if you combine those two, Church of the Free Man, right? Freemasonry. So that's another like weird coincidence, I guess, if you will, to the whole thing. I don't know, man. There's just a lot. There's a lot of these like little weird things, man, you know. And then, you know, Alex Jones actually pulled this up the other day too. On Amazon, there was a book that was published the day before. So on
That's
September
fucking
9th,
weird.
right? On September 9th, there was a book published and it was on Amazon. It was called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, right? Now it's been removed. So I don't know what that's about, but it's almost like they told you before, which is something that they always like to do as well.
I almost bought it. I seen that on X. Somebody was posting that. I went to Amazon to see if it was real. Sure enough, there it was. And I was like, do I fucking buy this? And my fear was like it was just gonna be some like AI bullshit, like someone rush it out there. And I was like, nah, you know, some fucking sick person probably just said, all right, Grok, write me up a 300-page fucking bullshit book on this event that happened today, throw it out there. And I didn't catch on that this book was posted the day before. And then I also found out that it takes 72 hours for a book to get published on Kindle Direct Publishing. So, in order for a book to get published on Amazon through Kindle Direct Publishing, they need 72 hours for approval. So, I actually researched the process, right? Because it's something that I'm meant to do for my own book at one point. So I said, fuck it, let me go ahead and look into it. So I went through the whole process, set up an account through Kindle Direct Publishing and everything over the last few days. And sure enough, they outline the entire thing for you. 72 hours. Got to get it all uploaded, get your formatting correct. They say that there could be multiple attempts. I watched a couple videos on YouTube where they can I love these random chatters. They're hilarious. They can send it back to you and say, hey, this formatting isn't correct, fix this. And that could take 72 hours for them to do it. That can happen multiple times. So that definitely some fishy shit there. I don't know how that got there. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know. I was starting to mention this. The three major assassinations in American history, Kennedy, King, and Kirk, right? All three of those are 11s. 11 times 3 is 33, right? And then you can break down the names of those two, right? We already talked about Charlie. He's the free man, right? JFK was in the gematria situation is God is gracious, MLK is warrior king of the people, and Charlie Kirk is the free man of the church, right? All three executed. It's just, I don't know, it's just crazy to me, man. Like there's no way that all of these things line up unless we do live in some kind of simulation and that's just part of the coding. I don't know. I'd be more likely to inclined to believe that it's definitely some sort of like ritual that they're doing.
Well, all right. So let's get into something that I do find fishy, right? Because the number thing, that's you. I don't know much about that shit. And honestly, I didn't know much about the shit that I do find fishy until just a little while ago. Like, I'm talking within the last 48 hours when I started really putting all these pieces together.
Oh, and the shooter drove 3 hours and 30 minutes to get there.
250 miles, yeah.
3 hours,
30 minutes.
30 minutes, 33.
Yeah.
There's a long list of this. It keeps going.
Again, that's your cake there, man. I'll look into the number thing at some point. I don't know much about that. But all right. There is a lot more that's out there that I think people need to calm down at, but we're already over an hour in, and we haven't really gotten into the stuff that I really do find fishy. So let's get into that now. And if we come across some of the other stuff in conversation, I'll just knock it out real quick. What I do want to talk about is the very first thing that I think a lot of people aren't revisiting, and I think there's a reason why, is because it is extremely disturbing, is George Zinn. Now, we are seeing some posts on this guy pop up on X every once in a while. But mainstream media is staying completely away from him. Now, if anybody's not familiar with the name George Zinn, this is the guy who they originally arrested, that they thought was the original killer. This is an older gentleman. If anybody was watching the news coverage of the assassination as it was happening within the first couple hours or hour, there was an older gentleman who was in handcuffs being escorted off the campus. He apparently had admitted to the shooting, and when he was being walked off, there were multiple videos being released by multiple social media accounts where he was asking people to shoot him. He's saying, shoot me, begging people to shoot him, as if he was the actual assassin and was expecting to die that day. Comes to find out, within the next hour or so, he's released. He's not the assassin. Then there's a second person who was captured. The second person, can't find any information on that person at all. All we can find out is that this person was supposedly in the crowd, and that there was something strange about this person, and that they were bringing attention to themselves. I've heard whispers of pellet guns or BB guns, or a BB gun being used. That was leading to his arrest. But then that person was also let go. So then the theory comes out that these two people are patsies, or they're trying to distract while the true shooter is getting away, meaning that they're part of a team. At first glance, I looked at this and I was like, fuck is going on here? Okay. The authorities need to get their shit together and just find who the real person was. I was kind of get pissed, right? But start thinking about this more. Why were these people acting in such a way to where authorities were arresting them And then there was multiple videos coming out, especially of George Zinn, where he was asking people to shoot him while he was in police custody. Doing a little research on George Zinn, because I've seen some posts pop up about him, there was a lot of connections with him to 9/11.
Yep.
So I did some research on him. Come to find out, he's not as connected to 9/11 as a lot of people are saying that he is. His connection doesn't go back that far. Still a very questionable guy. Very, very questionable guy. But there's people that are claiming that he was in New York during 9/11, that he was living out there or whatnot. Then I even saw some weird claim that he was the person who found the perfectly preserved passport of one of the terrorists who hijacked one of the planes that rammed him into one of the Twin Towers. Okay. So all the things that I could find, again, okay, this is post Charlie Kirk assassination. So if anything was changed on the internet, this is the stuff that I was able to find.
That he was in a not a documentary, but like an interview about his experiences during 9/11. Right. This is like years ago.
So it's called an interactive commemorative museum exhibit. And the name of it is called Weber Remembers the 9/11 Project, and it came out on September 9th, 2021.
And he was in that.
Yes.
You see the Boston bombing thing?
Yes. So in 2013, he received a misdemeanor charge for bomb threats via email to the Salt Lake City Marathon, not Boston bombing. Salt Lake City. There was misconceptions about the Boston bombing, but he wasn't. It was Salt Lake City, not Boston. I know. That's why I put the disclaimer that all the information that I found was post Charlie Kirk assassination, because obviously I'm not looking at a random dude named George Zinn prior to the Charlie Kirk assassination, right? If I had a time machine and I can go back 2 years and research this George Zinn character, would I be surprised if I found different information than what I found the last 2 days? I wouldn't be surprised.
It's still too close. It's still too much like
It is.
it gives me crisis actor vibes.
It does.
Right?
So it really does. But man, I'm telling you, this goes deeper. Now that's pretty much as far as the whole George Zinn thing goes, right? But that's just kind of like the gateway drug to this whole
You missed one thing, and I'm going to say it here.
What's up?
He's Jewish.
He's not.
He's not?
He's not.
You sure?
Nope.
You positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, from what I could find, he's not. That was a misconception, is that he is not Jewish. No. He's also libertarian. I don't know if that means anything to this whole thing, but 71-year-old political activist. Then he lives in Utah. That's pretty much, yeah. So in that little documentary thing, the interactive commemorative museum piece that comes out, it's an annual thing by the Weber Remembers Foundation, by Major Brent Taylor Foundation. He gave his testimony of his memory from that day and how he had early thoughts on the attribution of Islamic terrorists performing the attacks. So that's where the whole idea of him being connected to or reporting Islamic involvement on the 9/11 attacks came from. Again, I'm just mocking or mimicking exactly what comes off of Google and shit, man. Because that's all I can find. I don't have deep research material for a random guy named George Zinn. I just don't. So this is the best that I have. If anybody else has other information from reputable sources, my best friend said so isn't a reputable source, so don't come to me with that, please. I hate when people do that shit.
Zinn is a surname of primarily German and Ashkenazi Jewish origin.
I mean, that's fine.
So,
Whether
by the way, this is not me shitting on like Jewish people. All right, I think we're all smart enough here to know that there's differences between, you know, the how do you say it? The three types of Jewish, if you will, right? You have like the Israeli state, you have the, you know, religious Jews, and you have like the ethnic Jews. So it's like there's multiple layers to that as well. That's a whole other thing. I don't really want to get into it. But
yeah, that can get pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, it can get deep.
Anyways, the next shady character I want to talk about is this David guy. David is the guy that right after Charlie was shot, stood up, turned towards where the shooter was, and cheered, or looked like he was cheering. Well, on September 12th, he posted a video claiming that it wasn't him cheering. Instead, he was chanting USA to project strength. You saw this guy? You know what I'm talking about?
He's known on X as the Dancing Jew.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. So here's the thing, man. I don't think I buy that shit at all. I really don't. You just saw somebody get fucking assassinated. And this is in a brutal fashion. Okay, we all saw the video. Your first thought is to turn around and scream USA. First of all, okay, just a few things that I noticed from that video. Not a single other person was turned towards the area of where the shooter was supposedly at. Not a single, you can look at that video, man. Not one other person was turned towards that area. And one person on X was able to fly a drone out there and sat it right where this David guy was and put it right where his head was facing so we can see where his line of sight was. It was right at the fucking rooftop. I don't do the conspiracy thing too much. I really don't. But when things just don't fucking smell right, it's hard for me to let go. And the two things that really didn't fucking sit right to me, especially right there at the beginning of all of this, was this George Zinn guy. Them paired with the fact that they arrested a second guy who was apparently also causing a big fuss of distraction. And this David character who was caught on film cheering. Like, yeah, dude, we did it. That's what he fucking looked like. Not USA, USA.
Can I point something out about this David guy?
Yeah.
And I didn't know this until right this moment. I just pulled up his profile on X. Okay. His little bio. I'm just going to read you his bio. Navigating a recursive probabilistic framework from quantum to astrologic, information to sentience, chaos to order, paradox, duality, infinity.
Awesome.
Order out of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah. Really? Is that really his thing? That's his bio?
That's his bio.
Really? He's got the long hair and everything?
Yep. R to the power of X on X.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Send me that link, dude, if you get a chance. I'd like to check that out. That's strange. Listen, man, I'm not. Don't go out there and fuck.
I
with this
just
kid.
sent it to you in the Riverside chat.
Sweet. Don't go out and fuck with this guy. I'm not condoning.
No, I'm not. I would never expect or want anybody to do anything like that. I'm just pointing out things that I think are a little bit odd and coincidental in this whole thing.
That's all I'm doing too, man. I absolutely no shape or form am condoning going out and fucking confronting anybody on anything. Okay? Like, let's just have a conversation about it between you and I, or you, myself, or the listener. If you guys want to have a conversation with me, hit me up in the chat, whatever. Don't go out there and confront nobody. If you have a legitimate concern, bring it up to the authorities. Have them take care of it. I know, a lot of people don't trust authorities right now. I'm not going to dive into that right now. But I am not condoning that shit in the least bit. So by all means, don't listen to the shit that we're saying with that much weight, please. Do your own fucking thinking. Okay, we're just figureheads talking about this shit on the podcast. All right, we're burning time. But from my point of view, the guy's fucking sketchy. This whole situation is really fucking weird, and I don't like it. All right, so George Zinn and this David character, I don't like it. Don't like him at all. I don't think that either of them have a good role in this, and I think that their role is bigger than what they're portrayed as. Brings into the question of how many other players were there that we don't know about. How the fuck did this kid get away so easily? I mean, there's so many other questions, like about the gun. We can't get into that because we're running out of time, because we need to make room for the big ones. So there starts the theories on why it happened. Why did this whole thing happen, right? So we're going to stay away from what the mainstream media is pushing, which is this kid got radicalized either in college or by his roommate / lover or whatever. I'm going to stay away from all that. Okay. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I really do think that there's some weirder shit going on here than what is being presented to us. And this is probably the first time in the history of my life where I've seen an event, and I feel like I'm seeing the event through Jeff's eyes. Like, Jeff's got me, right?
This is what always happens, man. It's, events happen all the time, right? And sometimes you don't see through it on the first event, right? Like 9/11 woke a lot of people up. A lot of people saw that event and they saw all these weird types of coincidences or connections from 9/11, right? And that woke up millions of people, right? Even to this day, people will watch like a good 9/11, like Zeitgeist or Loose Change or something, and it'll wake them up. They'll see through the veil or whatever. This happens with every big event. There's like a whole new population of people who get woken up by an event. This just happens to be your event, right? Not saying that you don't question 9/11 or these other things, but like, the event itself, not somebody else like talking to you about the event, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, in real time, like you're seeing kind of through some of this weird shit, and you're like, wait a minute, dude, like this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And that's what happens, man. It happened to a lot of people with Las Vegas, with Boston bombing, with, you know, the Pulse nightclub thing, with 9/11, with COVID, right? Like every time one of these events happens, more and more people wake up and they start seeing through the bullshit, right? Which is also why they're ramping up the frequency of these events, I think, right? There's something here. I don't even necessarily think that the occult ritualistic aspects of these events are necessarily, like, they don't have to be negative for us, the regular people. It's very possible that they're using this type of thing to wake people up from this mind control that we've been in for the last forever, right? Like, I don't know. It could go both ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. Zeitgeist was mine, by the way.
Remember we got into last week, we were talking about the snake versus the eagle thing, right? Like, having events like this happen where it's, and then having like the obvious numerological connections and all the other things that we're talking about here today, that could very well be like snake faction trying to, you know, whatever, right? Revitalize itself or something, right? Like make itself known in the public psyche, right? It could be trying to break out of the matrix that the Eagle faction has placed all of us in over the last few hundred years. It could be that, right? Or it could be more Eagle faction sacrificial, you know, traumatic interdimensional psychic vampire shit going on. I don't know. Could be one or the other. I don't really know.
All right. So this guy on X, and I wish I had saved the thread because I'd love to give him all the credit that I could, because he did a hell of a job at putting this whole thing together. And I love when people put this amount of research and time and effort into it to actually go back and watch all the videos of Charlie Kirk and really put together all the evidence and put it neatly into posts so that people can follow what he's trying to explain. Basically, the way it started was there was a guy who presented a case to Charlie during one of his campus debates that 9/11 was done by Israel, not necessarily by the anybody in the Middle East, not by a terrorist organization, not Al Qaeda, not even the United States. Maybe the United States did do it, but under the thumb of the Israeli arm. And Charlie got noticeably upset about that. Right now, you could tell when things kind of got him upset. Right, he kind of got a little perked up about certain topics, and you could tell when he kind of put the pedal to the floor in these debates. And that's what he did, right? But this guy, he kept coming with more and more information, and Charlie kind of sat back and was like, okay. And then the guy said something about, well, Charlie, how do you explain how they found a perfectly preserved passport for one of the terrorist hijackers 2 miles away on the ground in New York City from 9/11? Like, how do they just magically find that? Perfect, no damage to it, just laying there. And then not only that, but then they tie that passport to a hijacker. How? And Charlie's like, well, I don't know if that's true. There's no way that you could say that. He goes, no, Charlie, that's the official narrative. That's what they say. And Charlie says, well, I'll have to look that up. Right? Because I don't know if that's true or not. And then another video goes by, the very next video. And I don't know how long this is on real timeline, but the next video clip that this guy has in the thread, Charlie goes, hey, did you know that 9/11, they found a passport? He goes, yeah, some guy told me about this at the university of whatever. And he goes, I looked it up. And I started talking to some people I know, and sure enough, that's the official narrative. The official narrative is that they found a perfect passport for a hijacker on the second plane that hit I think it was the North Tower. And he's like, that doesn't make sense. How is that? And then over the next 3 videos over that thread, you could see him slightly becoming more and more critical, just slightly questioning a motive of Israel more and more as those videos go by. Then he makes a mistake in like the 5th or 6th video of this thread, where he says something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, okay, I'm not quoting, something along the lines where he connects Mossad, Israel, and Epstein. Then 2 days before his assassination, he is doing a show with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is he holds a dual citizenship between Israel and the United States. He is a known Jewish man, very loyal to the Israeli state. And yet again, says something critical about Israel. Forgive me, I don't know exactly what it was, but you can see it on Ben Shapiro's face when Charlie says this. Ben's face is taken back and his eyes go wide, almost like a, oh man, are you fucking kidding me? Did you really just say that? Like a, well, sucks to suck, man. Now you're dead. I just want to be clear. I'm not blaming Charlie Kirk's death on Ben Shapiro. That is not where I'm going with this. Okay. But it does look like Ben Shapiro knows something from this video.
Charlie Kirk also turned down funding from Israel as well.
Yes.
They were trying to fund TPUSA, and Charlie Kirk said no. All right. So there's a lot of weird connections with that stuff too, right?
He said no because of the whole Epstein thing. That was one of the videos that I watched where he became slightly more critical of the whole.
Yeah, he found out that Ghislaine Maxwell's father was Mossad.
Mm-hmm.
He like that realization hit him just like the passport realization, and he started connecting the dots, and he was like, "Wait a minute." He was doing the thing that we're doing here, where we're like, "Wait a minute, there's weird connections and stuff that are, that's what he was doing. He was questioning the whole narrative of everything."
Yeah,
and like when you see, we're just nobodies. We're just 2 schmucks doing this thing, right? Like nobody cares. But when you're on that level, when you're like internationally known and you're making tens of millions of dollars and you're a powerful person and you start doing that, it becomes dangerous for you.
Yeah. And apparently Netanyahu had invited him over to Israel to help negotiate funding for Turning Point USA, in which he turned him down. And then Charlie even stated on a few shows and private conversations that he believed that Israel was going to try to assassinate him or try to kill him. I've seen a lot of people post saying that this was all conspiracy, but I see him say it. And I know there's deep fakes out there now, right? There is.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
The thing that's interesting to me too about that, like, is, you know, we live in a time where they could pull things like this off without it being so direct. Like, it's not like the JFK assassination, where back then, you know, technology was much more limited than it is now, right?
Mhm.
However, they still did have some of this stuff, like when it comes to like mind control, like Manchurian Candidate stuff, right? I think I was talking to Crystal, or I was talking to somebody. I was like, you know, that movie Jason Bourne, or The Bourne Identity, right? Are you familiar with Jason Bourne?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I've heard of it, but no, I've never seen it.
The idea that they can mind control you. The girl that we talked to, remember? What was her name? Coco,
Oh, yeah.
right? The whole monarch mind control stuff, right?
Mhm.
You know, there is methods for creating assassins that don't even know they're assassins, right? They can literally, this is going to sound crazy to people, but like, it's real. They can brainwash you and mind control you, and you have no idea. You're just a regular schmuck working at fucking Starbucks, doing your thing day to day. And whether it's the code word, like the code word is in a movie, right? They say the word, they say pumpkin, and like all of a sudden you snap into your assassin self and go
Yeah,
and
it's
hit the target.
most likely going to be like a frequency or something.
It's going to be a frequency, right? They hit you with the frequency through your phone or your smart TV or whatever, right? And that triggers the mind control programming and sends you off to do the thing, right? So, you know, this Tyler Robinson character that shot Charlie Kirk, it's, in my mind, it's plausible that he was one of these, you know, assassins and didn't even know it, dude, right? He might have woken up one day with just this urge to do this thing because that's what was programmed into him via the frequencies and the algorithms and all the other things that happen, right? So, you know, so
Man.
my point in saying this is that, like, you know, you could have a situation where a nation state or a deep state somewhere in the world or whatever assassinates somebody, and there is literally no like physical evidence or connection to it. Like, you can't connect the two actually, right? Like in a court of law, it would never hold up, type of thing, because this is all done, you know, subconsciously through various technologies, and you just can't, you can't do it. There's no documents. Like, they're not going to keep a fucking file cabinet with this information in it that somebody can go raid and get the information on. Like, this is like super top secret black budget type operation shit that they could do.
Man. I don't know, man. I don't disagree. I know that it's definitely possible. I know of a couple different I know of a couple different programs where they tested this. And I know it's something that they've put a lot of money, time, and effort into.
A long time ago.
I don't even think it's a long time ago.
Well, no, like they started doing this back in
Yeah.
like the Cold War and shit, right? Like they were
Yes.
using like these, like the Bob Monroe Institute and like the whole,
No,
you know,
see, I think they had it ready for the Cold War. I think that it goes way before that.
for sure, for sure. But like
Yeah.
all the documents that you can find in like the CIA library, right? Like those are mostly are published in the 70s and in the 80s, saying like, hey, we can do like the gateway process stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
the,
Mm-hmm.
you know, astral projection, the remote viewing, like all this psychic warfare stuff that they were doing. Like that shit was published in the early 80s and stuff like that, which means they had already dialed it in by then, right? So this idea that they could do this type of stuff is not even something that's super new, right? This is why I was saying, like, they even had this back when JFK was assassinated. Like they knew what they were doing to an extent then to be able to do this type of thing, right? Like Oswald said that he was a patsy, right? Now everybody makes all the connections like, oh, the mafia and like the FBI like was involved with JFK and all this shit. And it's like, maybe, or maybe there was some other like psychic warfare shit going on.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
And when you couple that with the numbers and the occult symbolism and all that type of stuff, right? The order out of chaos, the 33s, the 322s, the 666s, the Freemasons, when you tie all that together and then you do the research on those programs and you realize that a lot of the people who were like high level Freemasons and stuff, like they were involved in that shit too, right? Like it starts to get real fucking weird for sure. That's not to take away, like we said at the very beginning, we've probably said 10 times, that's not to take away from the fact that that dude was assassinated in cold blood in front of everybody, right? But there's something else going on.
Yeah. 100%. I don't know, man. I just have this eerie feeling that it's not over. So, like, the whole concept, like we talked about it before, the concept of black swan events, right? I feel like this is a black swan event, or a first of a compile of a collection of black swan events.
Yeah, I mean, like I could tell you just on base layer what they're doing with this, right? Like they're pitting left versus right even more. They're creating even more of a divide using this, right? The order out of chaos thing. You could go online right now, you can see so many people that are just like if they were in the middle of the road, like they've shifted one way or the other. Like, they're just creating more of this division amongst the people, right? I was telling Creamer this on Shadowban the other day. It's like the people with the pitchforks and the torches storming the castle, and the king says, don't worry about it. We just got to make the people with the pitchforks think that the people with the torches are the bad guys, right? And that's what they're doing, right? You see that 3 million people marched in London the other day for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
The streets were completely filled with people. 3 million people went out and marched for this. It's insane.
Literally didn't look like there was room.
And that's what they're doing. They're creating, call it a civil war or something. I don't really know. And same with that girl who was murdered on the bus, right? They're creating this, like, I don't want to say like a race war, but like that's part of it. Like there's aspects of that they're trying to foment. There's the political, like civil war divide thing that they're trying to foment. Like all of this at the same time using these events, order out of chaos, right? Like never let a good crisis go to waste. That's just on base layer. Like that's not even going deeper into like the occult and all that shit. That's just like, hey man, this thing happened. Like let's use it and foment all this shit. And like you got people online. Crystal was just telling me there's dudes on TikTok that are basically doxing people who are like laughing at Charlie Kirk, and like those people are getting fired and shit. And like, you've got all of this going on, and you're right. It's not going to be the end of it, because the thing is, there's enough crazy people out there. The population's big enough. There's enough crazy people out there that you don't even have to necessarily do the MK Ultra mind control assassin thing anymore, right? Do they still do that? I'm sure they do, but they got to do it once or twice, and then the other 30 million people who are paying attention to this type of stuff, like out of that 30 million people, 1% of them are psychopaths. They'll just go do it. They'll just continue the cycle, right? So some asshole out there will retaliate, and then another asshole out there will just retaliate with no puppet master doing it, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? It is late.
Yeah.
It's bedtime.
Yeah. All right. Well, next week will be a easier topic to swallow. We're going to jump back into the world of cryptids and urban legends and stuff. It'll be fun. I can't wait. It's been a long time since we've done that. I need a good one of those.
Conspiracies are getting heavy, bro.
They are. Well, all right. Jeff, you got anything to put out before we go?
Negative.
All right. Well, that's it.
Don't do anything stupid, people. All right.
Yeah, don't. All right. Don't fucking stay safe. Okay? Don't take laws in your own hands. Protect your family. That's number one. Do that. But don't do anything stupid. And just know we're just podcasters. Okay? We're not professional or anything. All right? And we don't condone shit.
I'm a professional badass.
He is. You see that the salt in his beard? Professional.
Oh wait,
badass. All right.
Let me get in there for you guys.
Look at that. Oh yeah. Makes you want to lick it. That. All right. Well, that has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. Until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye, everybody.
Later.